Hello and welcome to Clay to Canopy, the show where I attempt to make just about everything from the ground up. Today I am going to be making a cape for my Halloween costume. So come on, let's do this. Why is it that every evil queen has to be a witch? Not all queens are evil, and not all witches are evil. I do love the flashy capes that come along with amazing queen witch costumes. I am going to be adding to my ensemble an awesome cape. I'm still using this McCall's costumes pattern. I got the same pattern for the hat. I went ahead and cut out the pattern, and I've begun prepping some of my fabric. It is one pattern for all the different capes. You're just going to alter the length and the types of fabric that you pick. It says it's an easy 2 hour sew, and I would imagine it would be if I was not going to go in and alter it, and there would probably be absolutely no point in me filming a video of me making this thing if I wasn't going to do something different. This video I'm going to be showing you how I'm combining multiple fabrics to make a more interesting looking cape. The benefit to doing it this way is that I went ahead and I raided the Joann's remnant bin and found fabrics that are discounted. I'm putting pieces of fabric together to create the larger pieces that I need. I can go ahead and find scrap pieces and piece them together and get the really expensive bits of velvet and bits of silks or whatever that would, otherwise cost a really large amount of money. But because I pulled them out of that bin, I'm gonna get artistic freedom, and I also did it cheaply with higher quality pieces. So to start out, I cut up my pattern. I use my pattern as a template to lay out the pieces. I have this shimmery fabric that I wanted to be at the bottom. I will be wearing blue and black striped socks, and I wanted where the cape meets the bottom to have that contrast. So the bottom of my cape will have this shimmery fabric. I needed 4 pieces of the fabric so that at least the bottom of the cape will have that symmetry. I took one scrap, this lighter blue. I drew a wave pattern onto that, started seaming together 2 of the pieces. Now I need to do this 4 times. The best way I found was to take that pattern and just lay it over 2 pieces as I was matching them up so that I can go ahead and figure out where it falls and then cut accordingly along with that pattern. And I'm going to continue to use this process as I go. So I'll be adding a piece, layering over that pattern again, matching up where the next piece goes, cutting that out, and adding that next layer. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, and I don't want to go cutting up all the different pieces in case that seam allowance ends up being a little bit off. If I just continue to do it piece by piece and then working all 4 of my pattern pieces together, I will be able to have consistency and I don't have to worry too much about what's happening in my pattern. I think for me, this blue is definitely going to be bringing out that water element. Water has always been representational of a cleansing, of a renewal, of moving forward, fresh sense. And as I am going to be ushering in a new decade in my life, I think that it is fitting that I become a water witch for this season. As soon as you smell fabric, and you're here. Oi. Okay, lay on this one. Mom's got work to do. This blue fabric is a very weird, stretchy fabric, and it's stretching more than I'd like it to. I am gonna have to retrim parts of the pattern, and I'm sure if I somehow adjusted the tension, it probably would improve this. Again, novice sewer. If you know what you're doing and you know how to deal with this stretchy fabric, then comment below. That seems to be helping, so play with your knobs and adjust the tension, and maybe it'll relieve itself. I also noticed that if you kind of periodically lift and re-lower the foot, it'll adjust a bit, and this is why I don't normally do apparel. Why are you all depressed today? Huh? What's happening? I know it's rainy and gloomy, but I mean, come on, bub. This is not helpful. No, it's not. This is why I never get anything done around here. Bat your tail at me. Well, I don't know what you're protesting. You're so moody today. Little broody boy. Oi. Come on. Oh, now I got the other one. This is my life, people. This is also not very helpful, my love. You got these dirty footprints all over my thing. So much for 2 hours. This has been over 2 days. But here's where I'm at right now. I have stitched up the 4 pieces, the 2 sections for the front and 2 sections for the back. I still have to cut the lining for this cape. The only difference between the 2 front pieces and the 2 back pieces are a bit of the neckline. I have the wave pattern going on in all the blue blocks, but the black block, the top and the bottom, have this straight line running through it, and I'm just kind of not feeling that right now. So I do have this bronze, and this bronze piece of fabric, I am going to cut a shape, some kind of wave, get that in here, overlaying the 2 black sections. And then I will cut the lining and trim up the pieces for the neckline. I'm getting ready to start assembling, and the first thing I am supposed to do is to run a seam line down the back of the cape because it's in separate sections. As I'm doing that, since I have this pattern going on, I'm just trying to make sure that I match up my areas here together so that they kind of land in the same place. I just ran a zigzag stitch along the edge of the backing, but just to reinforce that, I'm going to throw on another lock stitch. Just gonna go over it one more time because the weight of this fabric is pretty heavy and that seam line is holding the 2 pieces together. I got my back stitched up. This is just the outer shell. The next thing is for me to attach the front pieces on the 2 shoulder sides, of course leaving that opening because that's the center of the cape. Gonna match up my notches, and I'm gonna do the same thing here with the double line. I'll go ahead and use double lock stitches. I'm going to be repeating this step for the lining and attaching the 2 shoulder pieces. I don't need to do the middle seam line because I cut the lining on the fold, so I have the inside lining as one whole piece. Bubba. Hey, hey, hey. I need that. Come on. Yep. Alrighty, I have the lining and the shell all stitched up, and the next move it says to pin the 2 together, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then after I pin the 2 together face to face, I will be stitching basically the outer shell to the lining all around the edge except for the collar, because then I'll be able to flip it inside out and attach the collar. So here we go. It is a new day. Yesterday I was about 5 o'clock when I had finally finished up stitching the outer edge of the cape, and I just could not make sense of these directions. So I stepped away. I knew that this was something I needed to do fresh today. I have now read these directions for the collar at least 4 times now, and I think I kind of understand what the heck it's trying to tell me. I have a new friend joining me for this video as my adding to my fall decor. The vine got broken and we accidentally have to take this pumpkin off early. But here it is. It was a really gorgeous pumpkin that grew out in the garden. I should say Sarah grew out in the garden. I'm gonna add it to my fall decor. But anyway, last night it said to sew the right side inside out, and I did that, but then I was having this funky thing happening around these edges to help keep a nice crisp edge. And because I didn't trust ironing this funky fabric because it's all really different textures and totally different iron settings, and I didn't want to risk scorching it, I just went in with a straight stitch all around the edges. I did leave a good half of an inch where the collar is getting attached. One thing I did see on these instructions, I do need to put in a ½ inch stitch all around the edge of the collar where that's getting connected. Whenever you're doing curves and sewing, you need to have the relief cuts. This securing stitch is going to make it so that the fabric doesn't fray. That is my guess as to why it's there. The same thing is happening on the inside marker on the collar. I need to attach my interfacing to one of these pieces, and then I need to stitch the back edge, leaving the inside collar open, but I also need to stitch a secure stitch so that I can go ahead and make relief cuts along the inside of that collar as well. And then it'll be time to attach to the cape and my cape will be finished. Cape, cloak, cape. I guess it's a cloak if it had a hood. Does not have a hood, so it's just going to be a cape. To finish off this collar, I am going to be hand stitching on the underside. That's what the directions say. So that's going to take me some time. I think I will probably stitch some kind of tie. I don't see one on the directions here, but oh, there we go. There's an eye and a hook at the center part of the cape. So let me go ahead and take care of that. Oh. All right, everybody, I have finished my cape and this is gonna get added to my costume. This is all I have for you for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already, and I hope to see you soon. You're seriously not helpful, bub. How am I supposed to work this way?